a 42-inch touchscreen PC. Look, we've got the DVI connector going from the ATX motherboard into the input of the monitor. So this thing comes from a local company. Apparently they were trashing an older color mixing thingamajig. I don't know. This thing's been used for selecting colours for houses or something like that, and they were just scrapping the system and asked, hey, you want our old giant touchscreen monitor? Else we're just gonna toss it. And of course I was like, hell yes I would. And here we've got it. I tried to power it up once and it let out smoke and crackling noises, so I figured we'd take it apart before we actually try that again. I would imagine it doesn't have any giant faults. It was very dusty when I first got it, so I'm thinking perhaps it was just a bit of sparking, some spark up on the power supply main side. It did get so far as to show a no signal image before I just killed it in order to prevent further damage. So I'm going to take it apart. Since it can apart like any other industrial monitor slash TV, bunch of screws around the outside. It's dated, I believe, 2010, judging from a number here on the back, and it seems to be made in Taiwan by I'm not even entirely sure what company, but in the case of one of these things, it doesn't really matter who's made it. It's such a limited production run device because it does have a big border. It's not going to be used for giant screen arrays or something, so these are going to be pretty unique on the inside, I would wager. Yeah, well, let's just get inside. Can't wait. Alright, and here are the innards. So, we've got two power supplies. Monitor part, it's putting out 24 volts and 12 volts just to power all the monitory stuff. And we've got a separate Seasonic 160 watts ATX power supply powering the PC, which seems to be an Intel motherboard with some kind of Intel CPU in there. I've got no real idea what age this is going to be, but actually it does look rather recent, really. It's got DDR3 and PCI Express, so this is going to be like a very late gen Core 2 Duo, or it could even be an i-Series processor, an LGA 1156 or 1155, something of that vintage. Of course, coupled to a horrible old mechanical hard drive. So the monitor part itself seems to be one of these probably LG brand kind of TV kits. It's got a panel inverter here, which these come with a panel, so they're very common to see in these industrial things, all entirely integrated, often get bad caps, so we're going to have to check that out as well. And we've got a dinky little scaler, which really, it looks like something you'd buy off of eBay. Not too impressed with that at all. The capacitors are branded Stone, which is not a very well-known brand at all. But I do not think that is going to be an issue in the slightest, because I do believe I have found the actual problem, and believe it or not, it is inside the Seasonic power supply. Because it is full of this yellow goop, and anybody who's worked on old electronics will have a bit of a distaste for this stuff. And indeed, if we have a look right in between this choke and big blue cap in there, we can see that it's started to turn conductive, and it's clearly across a resistor which has quite a bit of voltage drop across it. So, in order to render this device usable, we're going to have to clean this power supply up. I'm glad I didn't let it run for longer, because that would have caused significant damage in the long term. Shame on you, Seasonic. Shame on you. Alright, after copious amounts of cleaning, we have arrived at what I do believe is a working power supply for a PC. So I've given it a quick test. I haven't tested it with a PC yet, so my fingers are itching. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. So we've got a green LED on the motherboard. The backlight on the TV is on. I believe there's a power button for the PC. We've got fan spin. Display's on, and we've got a beep. I do believe that we've got a winner. Now, before we get carried away playing with this thing, there's a couple of things left to consider. What you're looking at right now is the power input connector to the backlight driver for the panel. I had the foresight to check the datasheet for this, and I'm glad I did, because you can see we're missing a few pins here, and one of them is brightness control. So the only way the scaler is going to have to control brightness of a panel is by just doing digital brightness adjustment. The backlight's stuck at 100%. So I have remedied that in the best way possible by adding a bunch of Cat5 wires leading to, what else, a potentiometer tacked onto the panel with sticky tape. So this is just a single channel 10K pot which takes in 3.3 volts from the power on signal there and has ground there, and is putting out a variable analog voltage on the middle pin. And this is actually good enough to control the brightness of this device, because if I turn this, I can see the power meter jumping from about 100 watts to well over 230, which is what this thing draws at maximum brightness. So I'm going to have to incorporate this into the case because I really do like to have brightness control on my monitor. This thing is brighter than the sun at the maximum brightness, and I have no intention of running a 230 watts display device for any amount of time. Now, on quite the opposite end of the power spectrum, we have got the internal speakers, which are not particularly impressive in any way, shape or form. And I will now proceed to shamelessly play a clip of Big Clive's lovely bassy voice just to demonstrate this fact.
You know when you go on the internet and you're looking for one thing and you end up buying another? Well, that happened recently, Steve.
Not particularly impressive, and indeed that is as loud as they will ever go. So, I have raided the graveyard of broken TVs at work and found some suitable improvements. These are the speakers out of a 65-inch Sony TV, rather high-end device, and they sound pretty okay if you ask me. And due to some clever software trickery with the internal Realtek-based audio, I can just pull a plug and swap between the two sets.
I've got a bit of an obsession with overalls. Fashion items, so to speak.